The woke revolution and intersectionality. Division by design. Before we delve further into this exploration of Marxism and its modern manifestations, allow me to offer a brief reminder. If any part of this discussion resonates with you, perhaps a striking historical anecdote or an insightful revelation, please consider liking and sharing the episode and ensuring you're following or subscribing for future updates. Your engagement is invaluable and enables us to continue delivering thoughtful content on these fascinating topics. We're diving into something that's been hiding under the surface of our society for a long time, the twisted path of Marxism and how it's morphed into these modern tools that tear us apart. You know, the kind of stuff that makes you question why everything feels so divided these days. I've been digging into the roots of this, from the old manifestos to the think tanks that reshaped it all, and it's eye-opening how these ideas keep coming back, promising equality but delivering chaos and control. Let's unpack it step by step, because understanding this is key to seeing through the fog. First off, picture this. Back in the 19th century, Karl Marx lays out his big vision in the Communist Manifesto. He paints history as this endless clash between oppressors and the oppressed, lords and serfs, slaveholders and slaves, bourgeoisie and proletariat. It's all about class antagonism, he says, and the way forward is seizing the means of production to flip the script. But here's the thing, Marx wasn't just talking economics. He saw humans as products of their economic conditions, like Homo economicus, shaped entirely by the system around them. Private property, in his view, corrupted our natural communal instincts, turning us into selfish individuals. The goal? Remind everyone they're really communists at heart, deep down like ancient tribes, but with all the tech and wealth from capitalism intact. It's a revolutionary program to evolve human nature itself. Fast forward to the early 20th century, and Bolshevism takes the stage under Lenin. He grabs power in Russia through a coup, kicking off the Soviet Union. But it turns brutal quick. The Red Terror sees mass executions, maybe 50,000 to 600,000 folks wiped out by the secret police. That's the precedent. Revolution means violence, justified as advancing the cause. Anything that pushes the revolution forward is ethical, right? The ends justify the means, no matter the body count. Now, imagine the frustration when this economic revolution doesn't catch fire in the West like they hoped. By the mid-20th century, places like the US have worker protections, antitrust laws, a growing middle class. The proletariat isn't rising up. They're buying Corvettes and settling into suburbia. So, the thinkers pivot. They realize economics isn't the only maker of man anymore. In advanced societies, identity shapes us, who we are by race, gender, sexuality. That's where the oppressor-oppressed dynamic shifts gears. It's not just about class. It's about any line that divides, creating resentment and conflict. Enter the Frankfurt School in the 1920s, a group of Marxist intellectuals at a German university institute. They're blending Marx with Freud, critiquing how capitalism alienates us not just economically but culturally. They see mass culture, movies, ads, consumerism, as tools that deaden the spirit, keeping us complacent. Reason itself, they argue, gets twisted into efficiency and control, serving the system. These guys flee the Nazis and end up in the US influencing academia. One key figure pushes for a new proletariat. Not just workers, but racial minorities, feminists, sexual minorities, outcasts. They have the vital need for revolution, the energy to upend the stable, conservative middle class. This cultural turn draws from earlier ideas too, like Antonio Gramsci's cultural hegemony. The ruling class dominates through ideas, not just force. To win, you march through institutions, schools, media, churches. Mao's Cultural Revolution in China shows how this plays out, using identity categories to purge and reshape society. By the late 60s and 70s, this filters into the West as identity politics. Groups like black feminists start fusing struggles, race, gender, class, into what becomes intersectionality. It's sold as uniting the oppressed, but really it's a way to consolidate power. Call a feminist group racist and it bends or breaks. Accuse a racial movement of sexism, same thing. It fragments everything, then rebuilds under a Marxist lens. And here's where postmodernism creeps in, rejecting objective truth. Knowledge is power, they say. It's all socially constructed, tied to who's in charge. No universal facts, just narratives from different standpoints. This feeds into focusing on feelings, personal truths. Your lived experience trumps data or debate. It's a shortcut to moral superiority. If I feel oppressed, that's truth, and you can't question it without being the oppressor. No need for facts to justify actions, even theft like seizing production or violence. It's all resistance. Let's get into the gritty details now. The death toll under these regimes is staggering. Estimates hit 100 million or more. Break it down. Soviet Union under Stalin, 20 to 60 million from purges, gulags, the Holodomor famine that starved 3 to 7 million Ukrainians. That's forced collectivization, decolonization, killing or deporting farmers to seize land. Then China under Mao, 40 to 80 million. The Great Leap Forward famine alone, 30 to 45 million dead from botched industrialization. Cultural Revolution adds 1 to 3 million more, with beatings, executions, re-education camps. Cambodia's Khmer Rouge, 1.5 to 2 million in the killing fields. North Korea, Vietnam, Cuba, Ethiopia, Millions more from wars, famines, purges. These aren't accidents, they're baked in. The ethic is whatever advances the revolution is good. Hinders it, evil. So mass murder becomes policy. In the West, it doesn't go full Bolshevik, but the cultural version sneaks in. Intersectionality becomes the superweapon. Oppressions intersect, so all oppressed are in solidarity, even if their fights don't overlap. One day it's race, next gender, then queer issues, switching to whatever stirs resentment. It's kaleidoscopic, always adapting, but the core is Marx's first line. History is class antagonism, oppressor versus oppressed, no matter the labels. The themes here scream division and deception. Wokeness, this modern offshoot, is Frankenstein's monster of identity politics. It promises justice but divides us into ever smaller tribes, fighting over who's more oppressed. Feelings rule. Personal truth lets you claim moral high ground without evidence. Argue facts? You're invalidating my experience, silencing me. It's a power play, shut down debate, justify anything. Theft? That's reappropriation from oppressors. Violence? Resistance against systemic harm. And with no objective truth, it's all relative, except their narrative is absolute. Critics point out how this rejects Enlightenment reason, turning it into a tool of domination. Postmodern twist. No meta-narratives, but theirs is the grand one, power structures everywhere. It erodes unity, makes solidarity fake. Leftist spaces melt down under accusations, only to reform under tighter control. It's not emancipation. It's consolidation for the revolutionaries. Let me pull some quotes to drive this home. From Marx himself. The history of all hitherto existing society is the history of class struggles, oppressor and oppressed. That's the blueprint, or Lenin. We must be ready to employ trickery, deceit, law-breaking, withholding and concealing truth. Bolshevism in action. Marcuse from the Frankfurt era. We need a new proletariat. The feminists, the ghetto population, the racial minorities, the sexual minorities, the outcasts. Spot on for today's coalitions. And on ethics. That which advances the revolution is good and true. Explains the body count, no remorse. In the end, I'd say steer clear of this poison. These ideologies have left trails of death and division, from Bolshevik coups to cultural revolutions. They deceive with promises of utopia but rule through resentment and control. Stick to seeking real truth, building bridges, not walls. Value facts over feelings, unity over tribes. If we learn from history, we can avoid repeating it. Stay undivided. Stay free.